Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here, Tropical Plant Party. How's everybody doing? Hope you're good. I am great. And I am filming my intro at the end of the week again. That's because I never know what's going to happen, so I don't know how to introduce things. Little stuff going on, some errands, some repotting's going to happen. Talking about this guy, which was in a video from a few days ago. And talking about the orchid show coming up this weekend. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I just did something real stupid. A few days ago, you guys will have seen I did a video where I was unboxing some Vandas, and I went ahead and I soaked them in my aquaponics pond. I need to actually be here. Hold on, this is not entertaining for anybody. I'm kind of tangled up in here. So, basically what happened is I went ahead and I soaked those Vandas in the aquaponics pond, which I shouldn't have done. I'm really jealous of spiders right now because I could use some more arms. Right. Things are getting kind of crammed back here. Things are growing a lot. So I shouldn't have done that with the Vandas. I shouldn't have soaked them because I don't know what chemicals or pesticides might be on them. Generally, they would get soaked and flushed for a few weeks before I start soaking them in here. Whoops! I need to put a fresh block of carbon in the filter, which I actually needed to do anyway, so it should be okay. Look at these cute little... I love how this croton has these little spoons on the end, and got some croton flowers on there. Aren't they pretty? Not really. Not the most significant flowers, but it means it's a healthy plant. I finally got the waterfall up and running and fixed. I forgot to turn the filter off. Or the air filter, that is. Pretty loud. So the problem was the pump was clogged up. Now luckily I have an extra pump. It's the one I was using to water last week. I was able to just unscrew the fitting and swap them out. No big deal. But it was a new pump, so I was kind of concerned because these pumps have always worked really well for me. So I think this is probably clogged up with leaves because I usually try and net out debris from here, like big debris, just about daily. Well, a couple weeks ago, I skipped for a few days because, you know, life happened. So this probably has junk in the impeller. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Let's see. Okay, no, I could not do it with one hand. So pop that off of there and let's look at the impeller. Yep, that's pretty clogged up. Got some pliers here. Yeah. That's why I was only getting about 50% flow rate with this thing. I will say that I am shocked that this was running as well as it was with this much debris in there. Like, really, really, really surprised by that. That is kind of why I like these pumps. I'm not sure that I can actually remove this part of the housing on the pump. That would make this a lot easier. The directions that came with these guys, everything's in, I don't know, it looks like Mandarin. So, I don't know. But that was pretty easy, nice and cleared up. So, crisis kind of averted there. I was a little bit worried that maybe I had a bad pump here, but nope. I just messed things up by not getting the, whatchamacallit, by getting the leaves out like I should have. Boom. Easy. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop this back in here close to the middle, hopefully, and turn it on and just to help stir things up a little bit so the filter can get it. The water got kind of dirty when I was switching things out. I didn't remember to put my thumb over the end of the hose, so the filter just kind of backwashed back into the pond for like a good 10 seconds or so. And the water's already, like, it appears dirty, but that's because I have a huge basket full of catappa leaves in here to put tannins in the water to help soften it and lower the pH and whatnot, so it's always probably going to have this tinge to it, but there's actually like debris in there, so we need to get that cleaned out. It'll probably take a day or so though. We'll see how this looks in the morning. So you ever get in your car with a plan, you got multiple places you need to go, and then you can't figure out where to go first? Yeah, that's what's happening right now. Because I don't want to drive back and forth and all over the place. Nowhere I'm going is near each other. And I think I've just spent about as much time debating where to go first to have the most efficient route that I've probably wasted all that time completely. So, it's just gonna go. I think I've mentioned how it's been really dry here. Look at these wax myrtles. Totally dried up and gonna lose all their leaves. Not so evergreen this year, unfortunately. Got some good prices on some urns here. I couldn't decide between the gray and the brown. I thought the gray looked kind of plasticky, so brown it is. Okay, it's the next day. It was too cold yesterday to mess with the stuff I picked up from Sam's, those flower pots. So I'm gonna do that now. Just finished giving the Vandas a good soak. I have noticed with these guys that their root growth is much better with frequent short soaks instead of like soaking for like an hour. Because once the roots green up fully from a soak, they're pretty much done taking up their nutrients. So may as well pull them, let them dry some, and then soak them again. That seems to be working well. Not so much with this one. This is one I was talking about a while ago that's just been trouble, but the rest of them, doing well. So now let's go have a look at those pots. Alright, so here are the new pots. Now, I obviously still need to unwrap that one. I'll have to it wrapped up to protect it. I used to have 2 of these urns. I guess I should go ahead and pull this stuff out. Come on, there we go. So, I had 2 of those. I actually like this better. I think it looks a lot nicer. There's a problem, though. And the problem was the shape, this beveled shape on it. So anything you have in there for very long, those roots build up around the bottom. They seek moisture and water travels down because of gravity. And then they're impossible to get out. So the other pot broke. So I was stuck with one, and Sam's didn't sell them anymore for like 2 years. But then they had these. Okay, that's much better. I went ahead and got that unwrapped. These are 26.5-inch urns. That's pretty big. There's the dimensions. 20 inches across the top, 11 inches at the base, and they don't bow in and come back. So in theory, that's going to make it much easier to pull things in and out, which is nice, because then I can do a little bit more with some fast-growing annuals. I can throw cheap palms in them, and, you know, there's a lot to explain here. So what I ended up having to do with these is I could only keep annuals in them. I can never put anything in them that I wanted to keep for a few years, because once those roots got down low, then they were stuck. There's nothing I could do to get them out of those pots. They're too fragile. These aren't super expensive. These were like, let's say around 50 bucks a pop, and their members mark that's Sam's Club. So if you're interested, then samsclub.com, maybe? I don't know. But that is a phenomenal price for urns of this size, so I'm happy about that. These are going on my front porch. Don't remember if I had mentioned that yet. What I have on my front porch right now are 2 blue pots that actually go in the backyard, but they're on the front right now because I wanted something there during winter time. I don't know if the weather's right to go ahead and repot. The Arborvitaes that are up there look terrible because it's been so incredibly dry. But it's also like nearly 60 degrees today, so I could do it. Let's see, let's go have a look. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. These blue pots. They belong in the backyard. They go on each side of the hot tub during the wintertime, and I have some unanimous to throw in them. I left them up here this year. You can see this Arborvitae, man, really struggling. I need to give it a good watering. I've been watering it plenty, but the air is so dry. So really, these are going to look much, much, much better. They're more formal. They blend better with the front porch. The blue's a bit much. And knowing myself, I doubt I even potted these. These are probably still in their nursery cans inside these pots, because I was planning on moving them around. Let's have a look. Yep. I know myself well. Still in the nursery can. Now that's one of the reasons I'm having trouble keeping these guys hydrated. Those just popped right out. Like I said, that's part of the reason that I'm having trouble keeping them hydrated, because they don't have a wide root mass. And here are the other pots, the urns. Now I think that looks much, much, much better. Oh, hey, that's me. Yes, I'm wearing shorts. I do think this is going to look a lot nicer, so I'm going to go ahead. I think these have plugs in them. Yep. I'm going to try and get these plugs out of here, and then I'll fill them up as much as I can with the dirt that I can scavenge up. See how that looks. I don't have enough dirt, so I'm cheating, and I'm going to put a hefty amount of mulch in the bottom of these, which I wouldn't normally do or suggest, because mulch will break down and clog the holes up. But I'm going to want to unpot this in the springtime, which is, 6 weeks away, and put fresh soil in this. So I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. I have to redo this in 6 weeks anyways. And you know what I love about the nuggets? These things are so lightweight. There we go. It's probably 50%. Alright. Guess I didn't need both bags. There. That's gonna save me some soil. This is actually probably way too much. Alright, all done. I went ahead and I actually left the pots up a little bit higher so I can make sure to direct the water in to the pots that they're potted in. And, yeah, I mean, these look like... The plants themselves look like garbage. This has been a bad winter, but the pots look much better. I wish the nurseries were open so I could plant some stuff around them, but nurseries aren't open here during the winter, so is what it is. But I'd say it's an improvement. I like this better than the blue pots. The blue pots are more fitting for the backyard for sure. All right, went inside, got some water. This is not a watering can, so not the easiest thing to use. There we go. Let's slowly water this in so that the water actually goes into the pot with the plant. That might help. Alright, and lastly, antitranspirant. And this is going to help seal all the moisture into the foliage so the wind can't blow it out. I mean, I've been using a lot of this stuff this year, so I guess I'm just going to have to keep doing it. Normally 1 to 2 applications per winter is plenty, but yeah, not this year. I've been doing about every 2 or 3 weeks. What can you do? Alright, that's all done. Got that nice waxy coating going on there. Hopefully that's going to help prevent the wind from blowing it out. I doubled the strength, which I've never done before. What's brown is brown, and it's done. That's the way it goes with these guys. But, sections like this, they still have some hope. So, back here, maybe not as much. I'm going to go ahead and just give them a little bit extra over there, just to be safe. And now I have some plants in the backyard that need to be sprayed too. Mostly my needle palms and my unanimous. Alright, here's one of my needle palms. You can see the wind has just totally blown the moisture right out of the sky. Right out of the sky. What can you do? Hey, considering it was -8 degrees Fahrenheit, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but I am expecting probably a good 20 to 30% defoliation on these guys. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and look at these guys. Alright, so I picked up these Caladiums, 25 in each. Now, if you remember last year, I went through one of these bags, and it turned out there were 63 in one of them. Now, I got one last year. This year, I got 2. So, I was going to dig all the ones up I planted and save them for dormancy, but these are so cheap, it just seems a lot easier to just buy new ones. Not going to get, really big, awesome plants, but I don't know. Made more sense to me. I don't know if I'm going to start these early like I did the other ones, but we will see. But not right now, that's for sure. It's too early. A few more weeks. Oh, I turned my fan off. You'd think by now I'd be in the habit of remembering to turn that off when I'm recording, but hey, whatever. It felt really good to get outside and do some yard work. That was nice. It was good to my soul. I really enjoyed that. I didn't get to plant anything new, and I was looking at Arborvitaes that looked kind of junky, but it was still nice just to have the dirt in my hands. It was good. These are on their second soak. They haven't been soaking this whole time. I lifted them up. All of us went together. We potted those Arborvitaes up, repotted them, and I put them back down. One other thing I wanted to do this week is talk about these Adonidia palms. I was going to do a separate video talking about yellowing palm foliage and what can it mean, but I hesitated too long and they stopped yellowing. So there's life cycles and whatnot with the leaves, especially in juvenile palms, but in all palms, especially self-cleaning palms. Self-cleaning meaning the branches die back on their own and then they pop off. So these are ready to go. There's 2 branches here that are ready to go. I am going to wait at least on this big guy up here until its sheath browns out to pull it. But otherwise, I'm anxious to do this. I love pulling these off because you get to see the new rings. Yeah, and the new rings are essentially their new growth. So there we go. Popped right off. A little bit of green left in there. I thought this one was more ready to go than that, but that's all right. Done with you. And this one, it's pretty much coming off. There's a little bit of green left on there, but I'm taking it off anyways, because I'm tired of having this brown branch stuck up inside the other one, because that blocks out light and airflow and attracts bugs, even though most of the bugs out here like to live on fresh foliage. Whatever. So we've got 2 new rings there. Very cute. Nice. And trunk is smooth. I'm not seeing any types of indentation. These are things I look out for when I'm worried about dehydration, because we had that cold spell where I let things dry out. The soil is fairly moist. I'm, generally watering this about every 3 or 4 days, lightly. Same thing with the one behind it. Now, the one behind it doesn't get hit by the fans as much. It's not directly above the heaters. There's a heater here, so that warm air comes up and dries the foliage out. But I'm still seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 branches on there, and the spear is definitely growing. So, those are all good things. I'm happy about that. And let me get my snippers. Let me get them as if they're like a mile away. They're literally right behind me. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because I'm tired of looking at it. There we go. Much, much better. So basically what I think happened here was that I moved these guys in, and then its old foliage was kind of like, I'm not liking these conditions. The air's dry. There's not a breeze like there is outside. They're not getting a lot of water like they were when they were hooked to my drip irrigation. And so they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of those leaves. But it's flushing out all new growth. So it's okay, and the new growth is healthy and green. I'm not seeing many brown tips on the new growth. Slightly dry, but not that bad. And now this is right here is one of the last of the old fronds. So I'm not worried about that one. That one too, you can see is the next in line here. See, right there. Next in line on the trunk to go. So it's okay. It's not starting from the top down. It's not starting from the center down. It's all good. And now there's more space opened up for air to flow through to the other plants. Ultimately, this is just better. And I need to make sure I remember to go ahead and take these guys and get rid of them, because I don't want to start a fire. Yeah, okay. I am so happy to have that done. Lots of good things happening this week. And this is the foul that was in that video from a few days ago, where it was covered in mealybugs. I haven't had to pull a single mealybug off of this since. I haven't seen any. But that doesn't mean they're not there. And I think I'm going to give it a few more days, but I think I may go ahead and actually stick this someplace dark, or maybe put it in a dark bag overnight, because, the mealybugs tend to avoid the bright areas. You see them more in the crevices and on the undersides of the leaves. So by doing that, it may spur any that are left in here to come on out. But I don't know, it seems to be doing okay. The roots are sitting in water, which maybe isn't great, but they're actually looking pretty good. So I don't know, this fowl might adjust to doing a water culture method fairly well. I'm not sure. There are a lot of cracked roots, and those are probably going to die. Kind of the nature of the beast when you have to shred something so much when you're unpotting it. That's alright, because it does have these nice big aerial roots, and there are some nubs in here. We can focus through the glass, perhaps, hopefully, where it looks like there's probably going to be some new roots coming out. Yeah, so overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. The keki's holding on just fine, too. That was my main thing. I don't know why, because it takes forever to grow an orchid from a keiki, but it has a spike on it. And I really, really, really would like to see some tiny little yellow fowls. It's probably not going to happen, but you never know. You may as well try, right? Okay, and that's actually going to do it for this week. This is probably on the shorter side, but that's okay. Not all the videos have to be 25 to 40 minutes long. I also wanted to ask, who's coming to the Orchid Show? Orchid Show starts Saturday morning for people who aren't members of the Missouri Botanical Gardens, and there's a preview Friday night. I'm going to the preview Friday night, and I will probably also be there Saturday afternoon-ish. Because Friday night when I go there, lighting, it's going to be dark in the area where the show is, and they light them up, and there's like wine and cheese or something. I have no idea. But I'll be going to that. That is also the orchid sale will be happening, so all the different vendors will be there Saturday and Sunday and Friday night. So if you're coming, let me know. It'd be nice to see everybody. If not, like, you know, we don't have to see each other, but, you know, say hi on here. So that's why this vlog is also coming out on Friday instead of Saturday, because Saturday I'm going to be doing the video of the orchid show. Does that make sense? And then there will more than likely be a haul video following that. I don't know. And I'll vlog while I'm there too. Oh, 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 do you see it? You guys see it? There it is. All right, I didn't have time to go to grab the rubbing alcohol and the cotton swabs, so I just took my finger and just... But you saw that, right? Yeah, you still got bugs on you. Whatever. So I hope everybody's doing well. Don't forget to comment down below, because I really do enjoy talking to everybody. Don't forget to like the video. It helps a lot, as well as subscribing, because I upload multiple times a week. I'll link all my social media stuff down below so we can see each other's plants. Alright, that's going to do it for this week. Hope everybody's doing well, and as always, keep on growing, everybody.